Hello wine people, welcome to Thirsty and Wise, where we simplify wine. My name is Peter and I'm a wine educator. Today I want to talk about 100-point system that is used to score wine. This is a controversial topic and something that I was interested in for a long time. But before I use it, I want to understand if this is a good tool for me to use to better communicate about wine. Today I'll explain everything that I learned about 100-point system, the positive and the negative sides, and I actually want to understand if the 100-point system can be compared to the way that I learned how to taste wine, and that's through WSET BLIC system. So if you're interested about wine or you want to get interested about wine, please consider joining us, subscribing, and let's change the world of wine together. And let's start the video. Okay, wine people, in this video I will explain why, who, and when invented the 100-point system, what's the purpose of it. This is a controversial topic. There's people that like the system and people that hate this system. I'll explain the positives and the negatives, and on the end I will actually compare the 100-point system with the system that I learned how to taste wine, and that's a WSET system. So I'm a WSET student. I learned how to taste wine with the WSET. WSET uses the systematic approach to tasting, or SAT, for the description of the wine, and then they use the BLIC system to determine the quality of the wine. So in the end I will actually compare the BLIC system with the 100-point system. Okay, so let's start. So the person that invented the 100-point system, the name is, you know him for sure. He's Mr. Robert Parker. He is by trade a lawyer, but in 1967, when he was a law student, he went to France. He fell in love with his wife and also with wine, and that is when the idea of the 100-point actually started with him in 1967. In 1978, he actually created his company, which then was called, I think, Washington and Baltimore Wine Advocate, and then in 1979 he renamed it to Wine Advocate as we know it today. His idea was, he had a dream of a publication that could be free of financial ties to wineries and merchants. This is one of the problems today, where the wine critics and the way that the 100-point system is used is, integrity is key, and you never know how this how these people actually judge and use this 100-point system. So Robert Parker's idea was, to be objective and not to get influenced by the wine industry, mainly the wineries and the wine merchants, which is very difficult because these companies pay publications like Wine Advocate for their wines to be scored by. So in 1979, he officially named his business Wine Advocate as we know it today. Until actually 1984, he was working in his practice as a lawyer, but his heart was in wine. He was a wine enthusiast, and he actually in 1984 left his lawyer practice and totally dedicated himself to the Wine Advocate. The moment that his business took off was for the wine for the 1982 vintage that he tasted, and that he said that vintage was a great vintage and that the wine actually has potential to age. Many of the critics at the time didn't agree with this, but actually later on it showed that his predictions was true, and I guess that his career as a wine critic took off from then. What's the purpose of the 100-point system? So the ultimate purpose is to sell more wine. The 100-point system has different purpose if you're a winery or a wine business, or when you're a wine consumer. So for the winery is all about awareness, for marketing, and for the consumer is to have a tool, a guidance how to better choose your wine. Because imagine yourself coming to a store where there's 100,000+ wines. How do you make your decision? So every little bit of information can help for you to make a better decision. I believe, the purpose of Thirsty and Wise is actually to simplify wine, to make it more approachable, less snobby, so the consumers can make better choices for wines that they choose. 100-point system can be a tool that can help you, can help actually wineries communicate their quality better, and for the consumer to be a tool how they choose their wine. So for wineries and wine businesses, the purpose of this system is marketing, is credibility. When for example a winery is looking maybe for an importer or distributor, if an importer or distributor sees that the wine got high points with Wine Advocate or any other credible wine publication, this will give more credibility to your winery. Marketing these publications, test your wine, and then they put the scores on their website, and this information is available. So more consumers, more wine importers, merchants can actually find your information, and this can lead to more business for you. Attention is, like I said, both ways, consumer wise and also business wise. Consumer, the attention is I believe the most valuable asset in today's fast-paced world. Better wine buying decisions for us, the consumers. You should always take the point system with a gram of salt. Next to the point system, you should also first of all know what's your budget and what's the style of the wine, and then on top of that, the point system can help you, to make your final decision. And ultimately, the 100-point system is the purpose is to increase sales. This is a controversial topic. There's many people that don't agree with the 100-point system, and there's people that think it's useful. Negative sides are it's not perfect. Wine is judged and scored by humans. We are imperfect, to say the least, and it's not like putting information in a computer and then you get a score. The idea of this system is for the critics and people that score the wine to be objective as possible. They should be knowledgeable, objective as possible, and they should score the wine based on the merit and the quality of the wine, not if they like it or not, or if they enjoy the style or not. The idea is, I was also very confused, and I wanted to understand how do you give, for example, a wine 95 points. Do you sum up the numbers, and what do you judge? Do you judge the appearance, the nose, the structure, the potential for aging, the balance? Is there like a formula? How do you get to that number? But actually, there's not it's not like a point system where you actually add up all the numbers of things that you judge and you come to a number. It's basically like you as a critic, as a wine taster, you have a lot of experience, and you basically understand how a wine that's 100-point tastes, how a wine that's 95 points tastes, how does a wine that's 85-point tastes. That's my understanding how they do it. If I'm wrong, please, if somebody's watching this video and you have an opinion about this, please let me know. Credibility is crucial for the wine scores. There's critics that give 100 points for every wine, and of course, if this is the case, there's not much value in those 100 points. There's other critics that are more strict and that are not so easy to give 100 points or even 90 plus points. But the way that you can use this 100-point system is basically go to a wine shop, see a wine that has scores from any of the credible institutions, and then see how that wine tastes, and see if you agree with the quality of that wine, and do a few comparisons with different wines and different publications, and basically you're gonna figure out how a wine that's 90 points tastes, how a wine that has 95 points, how does it taste. Okay, that's my opinion how best to use these scores. Value and style. So next to these points, the point is just based on it, just gives the score for the quality of the wine. All right, but the more important, the quality of the wine is important. Okay, but just let's put it aside. The things that are even more important than the score is actually how much you're willing to pay and the style of wine that you enjoy. It doesn't matter if the wine receives 100 points. If you cannot buy it, if it's not in your price range, or even more importantly, it's not the style of wine that you like. When I say style of wine, I mean flavor of the wine. If you don't like the flavor of the wine, it doesn't matter if it gets 100 points. So next to the points, things that to consider is value, how much you're willing to pay, and what's your style of wine. You can get 100-point champagne, but if you like off dry, simple, fruity prosecco, better wine for you is actually that cheaper prosecco. It doesn't matter if it's cheaper. It is the style of wine that you enjoy. The positive side of the 100-point system, like I said, next to the value and the style of wine that is important, this is just a guidance. This is additional way to communicate about wine's quality. And if you get a wine that, for example, costs $20 and it's the style of wine that you want, and then one has a score, the other one doesn't, I'm pretty sure that the one with the score will be more attractive. Maybe not, but that's my opinion. So here on this slide you can actually see okay, let's start like this. On the right, totally on the right, you have the wine spectator, how they judge the wines, the scores and how they describe them. In the middle is the wine advocate, so you see the scores, you see the points, and you also see the detailed description of the wines. On the WSET quality, this is how wines are judged for their quality based on the BLIC system. BLIC system means balance, L stands for length, I stands for intensity, and identifiable characteristic, meaning does the wine show the qualities and characteristics of the grapes and where it's coming from. And then on the wine name column, I put, for example, some wines, some style and quality wines, quality level wines that you can taste on WSET level 2 class. And take this also with a gram of salt, meaning that, for example, an outstanding wine can be the wines on top, for example, Barolo, Tokaj, Haut-Médoc. They can be outstanding, they can also be very good. It depends. Not all wines will be outstanding or very good, the one that you taste. Gevrey Chambertin Cava, it can be very good, it can be outstanding. It will definitely not be just good. Cava can actually be good to very good. Pinot Noir from New World, generic Côte d'Aron, Gave, Prosecco are generally good in quality on WSET level 2 in wines. They're rarely very good. I mean, also the idea with the WSET, it's not just about all wines to be outstanding. That's not the point. Then you're not going to learn anything. The point is to taste wines to be acceptable quality, like for example Pinot Grigio. When you do your calibration, then for you to understand the difference between Côte d'Aron and Châteauneuf de Pape. So Côte d'Aron should be a good quality wine, and then Châteauneuf de Pape should be very good to outstanding. And then you should also taste, for example, a simple Merlot that's going to be acceptable, and then very good or outstanding Pomerol or Saint-Emilion, for example. So in WSET, it's for you to understand different styles, different qualities, compare them, and then also understand what factors influence style, quality, and price. Anyway, so with the BLIC system, you judge, like I said, balance, length, intensity, identifiable characteristics, and complexity. I believe that in the 100-point system, they judge this, they give score to the wines based on the BLIC system. Qualities that use balance. Balance means many things. Usually balance means balance in aromas. Does the wine have only primary aromas, or it has a good balance between primary, secondary, and tertiary aromas, for example? Does the wine have a good balance with secondary aromas? Are they overpowering the fruit, for example, or is the wine too tertiary and it's losing its freshness? Balance also means the structure, sweetness, acidity, alcohol, tannin. All these things can be compared and commented for their balance. Intensity is important. It doesn't mean that the most intense wine are the best wines, but that wines should definitely have some intensity and identify. They should definitely represent the style of the grape and the location where they're coming from. And then on the end, BLIC, intensity and complexity. I mean, wines that are going to be 100 points, they definitely should be complex, meaning having primary, secondary, and or tertiary aromas. You also need to understand that not all wines are meant to be 100 points. So don't be too critical about wines like a simple Pinot Grigio from northern Italy. Some of these wines are not meant to be 100 points. They're just meant to be approachable and to be enjoyed as they are. So the description of the wine I didn't put any wines for WSET and the WSET in the 96 to 100 as an extraordinary wine, because I believe this kind of wine, I mean, you can get them on the WSET, but I believe that these are the wines that are really extraordinary. So not just outstanding, but a little bit above outstanding. So 96 to 100, and an extraordinary wine, profound and complex character, displaying all the attributes expected of a classic wine of its variety. So it means that they're actually judging. They know in which category the wine is, and they're judging it based on that. Wines of this caliber are worth a special effort to find, purchase, and consume. And then for wine spectator, this category is between 95 and 100. It's called classic. 90 to 95 is an outstanding wine of exceptional quality and character. In short, these are terrific wines. And wine spectator is 90 to 94, outstanding. 80 to 89, a barely above average to very good wine, displaying a various degrees of finesse and flavor as well as character with no noticeable flaws. So actually there's a big range from 80 to 89 in this category. For a wine advocate, it is barely average, above average to very good. So in the wine spectator, these wines are actually 85 to 89, and they're very good. 70 to 79, it's an average wine with little distinction except that of it's soundly made, so it doesn't have fault. In essence, it's a straightforward wine. In Wine Spectator, it's 80 to 84. 60 to 69 is below average wine containing noticeable deficiencies such as excessive acidity and or tannin and absence of flavor, possibly dirty aroma. So this is wine actually with a noticeable flaw, but it's still acceptable to be drank. For Wine Spectre judges as 75 to 79, it's a mediocre wine. And then 50 to 59 is a wine deemed to be unacceptable. So this is a wine that definitely has a wine fault, and it's unacceptable to be considered. For WSET is a faulty wine, and for Wine Spectator 50 to 74 is actually wines that are not judged and they're not recommended. I hope that this video was informative. Let me know what you think. Wine people, thanks so much for taking the time to watch this video. Please let us know if you have any question and if this video was useful for you. Are you using the 100-point system? What's your opinion about it? Please consider subscribing and joining us if you think the world of wine should be more approachable and easy to understand. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, stay thirsty and wise.